Peace, love, and light on this beautiful, bright day, June 19th, International Sickle-Cell Awareness Day. We want to touch on three topics that I get a lot questions revolving around sickle cell. One of them being, what is sickle cell? Well, there's actually, on the spectrum of sickle cell, there's two types. There's actually the sickle cell trait, which was a cure, and still is a cure, for malaria, which is a parasite that is associated with mosquitoes. There's an African proverb that says, if you think that you're too small to make a change in the world, spend a night in a tent with a mosquito. And this proverb comes from the disastrous effect that mosquitoes have had worldwide, killing millions of people just off of malaria alone. So the sickle cell trait was a cure for malaria, because when the malaria entered into the bloodstream and attached itself to the red blood cells, when it entered into the blood cell thinking that it was going to go to some of your vital organs to be a parasite and eat you from the inside out, the sickle of the blood cell, when it changed from a whole O blood shape to a sickle shape, it actually cut off the oxygen that was going to that parasite malaria. And as it cut the oxygen off, the malaria would die off, and the red blood cell would break down a lot faster, and it would leave the body. So the sickle cell was actually a cure for something that was killing off millions of people. Now we have the sickle cell anemia, which is actually a nutritional deficiency. That's why it's associated with anemia, meaning that the iron that you're getting inside of your body is not enough to support the development of your red blood cells. So because sickle cell is projected in most cases as an African American blood disorder or a black genetic disease, we have to take into consideration that blacks in this country are the only involuntary migrant population here. And based on that, we have to also take into consideration that our diet has been disastrously disrupted for over 400 years, which means that we are not eating the same staple foods that our ancestors were eating pre-colonial times, in which that the malaria could be fought off by our bodies, and then the sickle-shaped blood cells that were responsible for killing off that malaria could go back to its normal size. That's key, a major key, because it was the nutrition that we were eating that allowed this to take place. So here we are now, and we're thinking, okay, well, that's the origin of sickle cell that fought off malaria, okay, and then what is sickle cell is the sickling of your red blood cells. The same kind of sickle that the Grand Reaper would hold. At the end of that Grand Reaper pole was the sickle shape, right? That's the sickle. So it goes from that O to a C, so you're getting less blood. You're also getting less oxygen moving through your blood. So somebody said, okay, well, that's the problem. There's the problem right there. What's some of the tangible solutions? The tangible solutions are that we have to eat the same type of foods that our ancestors were eating. In most cases, we think about a plant-based diet being something that is totally incongruent, which means it's not even associated with, in most cases, the American pyramid or the American diet schematics of our life. But we have to throw that out the window. We have to be thinking about a plant-based diet as a way that we can actually cure ourselves. We have, Dr. Seavey, for instance. What does he say? The only disease that's inside of the body is mucus and pus, and there isn't a disease that cannot be reversed. So when we think about some of the iron-rich foods that we can be eating that can help neutralize the nutritional deficiency, we think about iron-rich foods. So what are some iron-rich foods? One iron-rich food that we can think of right now would be moringa, 27 times the iron in spinach. So that is something that we could be using as a daily staple food to help alleviate some of the stresses that are associated with sickle cell anemia as a nutritional deficiency. Second, we have the African yams, and we have cassava. These foods here are respectively associated with a chemical called thiocyanate. And when thiocyanate enters into the bloodstream, it has a chemical inside of it that helps prevent the blood cells from sickling. So think about if you're eating those every single day. You're eating the food that is actually having a healing effect on your body. All red foods deal with the blood cells, if these are natural foods. You have beets, you have strawberries, you have apples, red apples, of course. These foods are dealing directly with the development of your blood, the development of your immune system. These foods have healing and helping effects that can be placed inside of your body. So let's think. What are some tangible solutions that we can walk away from this conversation with for ways that we can control sickle cell and also be supportive of children who are overcoming sickle cell? It all comes down to what you're putting inside your body, because you are what you eat. So we have moringa, which is 27 times more iron than spinach, which makes it a superfood as it relates to iron, which can actually help neutralize that effect of anemia that is associated with sickle cell anemia. 2, we have cassava, and we also have 3, the African yam. These foods here have thiocyanate, which helps prevent the blood cells from sickling. So these are 2 very tangible solutions that we can walk away with that can help control sickle cell anemia. 3rd, stay hydrated. There is oxygen in water, H2O, hydrogen, oxygen. So when we think about the oxygen moving through the body, we have to stay hydrated. We have to drink water every single day. If you have sickle cell anemia, you should be carrying water with you everywhere you go, because it's going to be coming a time where you're going to need it. You don't want to have a sickle cell crisis in which your blood cells are being clumped up inside of you, and sometimes this happens as a result of dehydration. We want to be eating moringa, which can help with our mental clarity as well, okay? And we want to be eating natural foods with natural sugars in them. Strawberries, for instance, can help with some of the fatigue that is associated with sickle cell anemia. All these raw foods can help with the fatigue. So we want to be eating a lot of these foods that can serve us and help us heal our body, okay? The father of Western medicine said, let the food be the medicine and the medicine be the food. So that's what we need to use for the foundation of any disease that we find in our bodies. There is a food or an herb that can help reverse those effects. And sickle cell anemia is no different. For every disease, there is a cure. For every problem, there is a solution. Peace, love, and life, family. Keep up the good work.